In this video, we'll uncover the most valuable wheat pennies you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these coins so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. First up, the 1942 large date, Lincoln wheat. 1 cent without a mint mark in circulated condition is an intriguing piece of numismatic history. This coin represents the United States during a pivotal era, right in the heart of World War II, and its rarity and design characteristics have made it a centerpiece for serious collectors. To truly appreciate the significance of the 1942 large date wheat penny, we need to first look at its historical backdrop. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse featured a portrait of Lincoln, a design that has stood the test of time for over a century. The reverse side showcased two stalks of wheat framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, symbolizing America's agricultural heritage. By 1942, the world was engulfed in the Second World War. The U.S. had just entered the conflict following the Pearl Harbor attack in late 1941. The war influenced many aspects of life, including coinage. However, the Lincoln cent remained relatively unchanged in its design during this period, providing a sense of stability and familiarity during turbulent times. Speaking of mintage, the 1942 large date, no mint mark wheat cent had a substantial production run, approximately 278 million coins. At first glance, that sounds like a massive number, suggesting abundance. However, most of these coins were circulated extensively during the war years and beyond. What drives this coin's value today is the scarcity of well-preserved examples, especially those with clear, legible large date features and without significant wear or damage. Collectors prize this coin because of its combination of historical significance, distinctive date variety, and the challenge of finding specimens in higher circulated grades. The 1942 large date without mint mark coins are often found in grades ranging from good to fine in circulation, but finding one with the large date clearly visible and in better condition can be quite rare. Market-wise, the 1942 large date no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny has seen impressive appreciation over the years. In recent auctions, coins in circulated condition with strong date definition and minimal damage have fetched prices ranging from $10,000 to upwards of $120,000, depending on their condition and provenance. Exceptional pieces with excellent eye appeal, minimal wear, and vibrant copper tone can push even higher. Some record-setting sales have occurred in auction houses specializing in rare Lincoln cents, especially when accompanied by professional grading from trusted services like PCGS or NGC. One of the key factors elevating this coin's value is its appeal to both historical collectors and date variety enthusiasts. The large date variant is part of a well-documented error and variety collection for the year 1942, with collectors actively seeking the subtle distinctions between the large and small date versions as part of completing typesets. Additionally, because no mint mark coins were produced in Philadelphia and are often overshadowed by their Denver D mint mark and San Francisco S mint mark counterparts, the 1942 large date no mint mark holds a special place in completing comprehensive sets. The design features of the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny reflect Brenner's classic artistry. The obverse portrait is sharply detailed with Lincoln's beard, hair, and facial contours still visible in circulated coins. The wheat stalks on the reverse symbolize prosperity and the agrarian economy of the early 20th century United States. Despite being struck in large numbers, the large date variant's subtle differences in date, font thickness, and spacing distinguish it from the small date. Collectors scrutinize these details closely, often under magnification, to ensure authenticity and proper classification. Errors are not widespread for the 1942 large date no mint mark coin, but the large date itself is sometimes considered a type of mint variety, adding to its collector interest. Additionally, some examples show die cracks or minor doubling on the date digits, increasing their appeal as specialized collectible variants. Condition plays a vital role here. Circulated coins can vary drastically in value depending on wear, scratches, corrosion, and toning. Overall, the 1942 large date Lincoln wheat cent without mint mark in circulated condition is a prized acquisition for advanced collectors and investors. Its rich historical context as a coin minted during World War II, combined with a large production run but limited availability in high-grade specimens, has propelled it to commanding prices in auction. Next up, let's explore the second coin of our focus today, the 1940 large date Lincoln wheat 1 cent without a mint mark, found in circulated very fine condition. This coin also commands impressive value in the auction market, with collectors competing fiercely to obtain top-quality examples. The 1940 Lincoln wheat penny holds a special place in numismatic circles due to its position at the dawn of a new decade and its striking design elements. Like all wheat cents, it features the familiar obverse portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design first introduced in 1909. The 1940 issue maintained Brenner's timeless portrait, which perfectly captures Lincoln's solemn expression and dignified presence. The reverse displays the two ears of wheat, symbolizing growth and prosperity, surrounding the inscription 1 cent and the country's name. The large date variety in 1940 is characterized by slightly larger and more open numerals in the date, particularly the 4 and the 0. This subtle but important distinction differentiates it from the small date variant. The 1940 no mint mark coin, produced at the Philadelphia Mint, does not bear any mint mark on the obverse, directly under the date, confirming its origin. Mintage figures for the 1940 large date no mint mark coin are substantial, at approximately 209 million pieces. Again, this is a large number, but as with many Lincoln cents, the survival rate of high-grade specimens is much lower. Circulated coins dominate the market, with many showing varying degrees of wear. The very fine circulated condition coins that display clear detail on Lincoln's hair, beard, and the wheat stalks on the reverse are particularly rare. The historical context of this coin is also significant. The United States in 1940 was emerging from the Great Depression and inching closer to involvement in the global conflict that would become World War II. Coins from this period represent not just currency, but artifacts of American resilience and economic recovery. Design-wise, the 1940 large date wheat penny is cherished for its classic beauty and enduring symbolism. The raised rim, crisp lettering, and detailed features reflect the high standards of early 20th century coinage. Despite its seemingly simple appearance, the large date variety adds an element of intrigue for collectors who specialize in date and mint mark distinctions. From a market perspective, the 1940 large date no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny in very fine circulated condition regularly reaches auction prices upwards of $100,000. Exceptional examples with minimal surface marks, strong strike, and original color or attractive toning can command premium prices well beyond this figure. It is one of the most valuable wheat cents from the 1940s, especially given its scarcity in higher circulated grades. Collectors are drawn to this coin for several reasons. First, the large date variant is a recognized collectible variety, often sought to complete specialized Lincoln cent collections. Second, the coin's historical era adds emotional and cultural significance. Third, the scarcity of well-preserved examples increases competition at auctions, driving prices higher. There are few known major mint errors on the 1940 large date penny, but minor die cracks and doubling can occasionally be found, further attracting specialist collectors. The large date itself can be viewed as a variety error, since the mint issued both large and small date versions in the same year, making one rarer in high grade than the other. This coin's appeal is heightened by the fact that, despite the large mintage, finding a 1940 large date no mint mark wheat cent in very fine circulated condition with excellent eye appeal is not common. Most circulated coins from this year have significant wear, making well-defined specimens especially valuable. In terms of design details to look for, the large date is identified by the wide and open 4 with a larger loop and a broad, rounded 0. The wheat stalks on the reverse should show visible grain detail and well-preserved ear tips. The obverse features sharp facial features on Lincoln, especially around the jawline and beard, in very fine condition examples. The market value for this coin reflects its status as one of the highest valued wheat cents from the 1940s. Auctions of certified examples routinely push prices into six figures, with the best examples fetching as much as $150,000 or more, depending on eye appeal and provenance. In conclusion, the 1940 large-date Lincoln Wheat 1 cent, without mint mark in very fine condition, is a crown jewel for serious Lincoln cent collectors. Its blend of historical significance, rarity, design beauty, and market demand makes it a truly valuable coin in today's collector market. Until next time, keep collecting wisely and treasure the stories behind every coin. Let's start by exploring the next coin. The 1945 large-date Abraham Lincoln Wheat, 1 cent with the D mint mark, even in circulated and dirty condition, a coin commanding serious attention and a substantial premium. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny stands out not only because it's part of the iconic wheat cent series, but also due to its unique place in American history and numismatic significance. The wheat cent design, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. For over 4 decades, the wheat penny remained the everyday coin in circulation, making it a staple of American commerce and a beloved collectible. The 1945 coin was minted during a pivotal period, just months after the conclusion of World War II. The war had a profound effect on American minting operations, as resources were diverted to support the war effort. Copper, used extensively in penny production, was particularly impacted, though in 1945, copper remained the primary metal for pennies, unlike the 1943 steel cents produced during the height of wartime copper rationing. This specific coin, the 1945 large date with D mint mark, was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the major production hubs for U.S. coins. The Denver Mint, established in the early 20th century, had ramped up production to meet demand during the war and post-war periods. The large date variety is especially prized by collectors because it features slightly larger and more prominent date numerals compared to the small date variety minted the same year. Mintage numbers for the 1945 D large date wheat cent are significant but not overwhelmingly common in top condition. Approximately 417 million were produced, making it moderately available in circulated condition but increasingly rare in cleaner states or with full mint luster. What drives the value, especially in the dirty circulated grade, is the rarity of coins that have survived decades of wear without being cleaned or overly damaged, factors that often degrade a coin's collectible value. The coin's design features are quintessential of the wheat cent series. On the obverse, a right-facing profile of Abraham Lincoln, crafted by Victor David Brenner, graces the coin's face. Brenner's design was revolutionary for its time, humanizing a historical figure and making pennies more than just currency. The inscriptions include Liberty on the left and the date on the right, with the mint mark D beneath the date indicating its Denver origin. The reverse side showcases 2 wheat ears along the edges, framing the inscription 1 cent and United States of America with the motto E pluribus unum above. This reverse design, simple yet elegant, symbolizes prosperity and growth during a turbulent time. Collectors find the 1945 D large date wheat cent especially interesting because it represents a post-war America in transition, where everyday items like coins began reflecting new optimism and economic expansion. Additionally, this coin sometimes exhibits minor die variations and errors, such as doubled dies on the date or mint mark anomalies, which can further enhance collector interest and value. In today's auction market, even circulated examples in dirty condition can fetch remarkable sums, especially if the coin retains significant original details despite wear and grime. Current auction results show that well-preserved 1945 D large-date wheat pennies in circulated dirty condition can sell in the range of $50,000 or more, particularly when provenance or certification from recognized grading services is involved. The appeal to collectors is driven by both historical importance and the challenge of locating such coins in a natural state, untouched by modern cleaning or restoration methods. Now, moving on to our second coin, the 1944 large date Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 cent, with the D mint mark in circulated fine condition. This coin carries its own rich history and market value, also commanding impressive prices above $50,000 in today's auction market. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Cent is remarkable for several reasons, primarily its place in the ongoing saga of U.S. coin production during World War II. Unlike the 1943 steel cents, the 1944 pennies returned to primarily copper composition, with about 95% copper and 5% zinc, as copper was again available for coinage after wartime restrictions eased. The 1944 large date variety was produced in enormous quantities but remains significant because it reflects the economic and social rebuilding phase of America just as the war was ending. The Denver Mint's output for the 1944 large date wheat penny was massive. Approximately 1.4 billion coins struck, making it one of the highest mintage years of the series. Despite this high production volume, well-preserved specimens in fine condition are surprisingly scarce, since pennies were heavily circulated as everyday currency and often subject to harsh wear. As a result, coins retaining detailed features with limited wear are prized finds for collectors. Design-wise, the 1944 large-date wheat cent retains the classic Lincoln profile on the obverse side, a design that had become iconic by this point. Brenner's depiction is crisp, featuring Lincoln's distinctive beard, high cheekbones, and solemn expression. The obverse inscriptions include Liberty, the date 1944, and the D mint mark beneath the date, again denoting the Denver Mint. On the reverse, the wheat ears curve around the denomination and country name, with the motto, A Pluribus Unum, crowning the top. Collectors often seek out the 1944 D large date for specific design traits, including the relative size of the date numerals and the spacing of the mint mark. These subtle distinctions are key for grading and valuation. More interestingly, the 1944 series occasionally exhibits mint errors such as doubled dies, weak strikes, or off-center impressions, which add an extra layer of intrigue and value for numismatists. The historical context adds to this coin's allure. The 1944 wheat penny represents a nation emerging from the shadow of global conflict, eager to rebuild and thrive. For many, Lincoln's visage symbolized unity, perseverance, and progress, themes deeply resonant in the post-war years. As such, coins from this period hold both numismatic and sentimental value, enhancing their appeal in auctions and private sales. In today's market, a 1944 D large date Lincoln wheat penny in circulated fine condition can command prices starting around $50,000 and rising significantly depending on provenance, grading, and any unique characteristics or errors. Recent auction results highlight the strong demand among collectors for these coins, especially those that have been professionally graded by entities like PCGS or NGC, confirming their authenticity and condition. Collectors often pursue these coins not only as individual investments, but also as part of larger wheat penny collections or thematic assemblages focused on World War II-era minting. Their rarity in high-grade circulated conditions and the story they tell about American history contribute to their persistent desirability and market strength. Both of these coins, the 1945 D large date and the 1944 D large date wheat pennies, showcase why Lincoln's image remains one of the most enduring and collectible in American coinage. Their connection to significant historical moments, combined with distinct design elements and collector interest in minting variations and errors, ensure they remain high-value coins with auction results frequently exceeding $50,000. If you're considering adding either of these pieces to your collection, be sure to look closely at condition, mint mark authenticity, and certification. Whether in dirty circulated or fine circulated states, their market value reflects decades of collecting passion and historical importance. Let's get started with our next coin, a 1946 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent with the large date variety, no mint mark, and a circulated condition that's characterized by a black dirty patina. This coin is not just valuable for its rarity, but also for the fascinating story it carries within the rich history of post-World War II America. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny holds a special place in the history of American coinage. Minted just after World War II, this coin represents a nation transitioning from wartime to peacetime. The mint did not place a mint mark on pennies minted at Philadelphia, which includes this 1946 large date variety. The large date variety specifically refers to the size and style of the numerals in the date, a small yet significant detail that distinguishes it from the small date variety and adds considerable value to collectors who appreciate these nuances. Historically, 1946 was a time of renewed industrial growth and societal optimism in the United States. The penny itself, with Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the iconic wheat ears on the reverse, had been in circulation for decades but continued to be a symbol of stability and continuity. The Lincoln wheat cent was originally introduced in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday, making this 1946 issue part of a long legacy that collectors cherish deeply. In terms of mintage, the 1946 large date no mint mark pennies were produced in significant quantities, roughly 1.7 billion coins minted in Philadelphia alone. Despite this high number, the large date variety in circulated dirty black color condition has become scarce in premium auction markets. This is because many coins in circulation from that era have suffered wear, corrosion, or cleaning, diminishing their appeal to collectors who seek authenticity and originality. Collectors pay particular attention to this large date variant because it's one of the more subtle and harder to identify distinctions in the Lincoln Wheat Cent series. Finding one with original surfaces, even in circulated condition, can be a significant challenge. Coins with the dirty black color patina, while showing wear and circulation marks, are appreciated for their originality, meaning they haven't been cleaned or altered, which preserves their historical integrity. Another critical aspect that heightens collector interest is the coin's condition relative to its age. Circulated coins from this period often suffer from environmental damage or improper cleaning, which negatively impacts value. However, those that retain a natural black patina, sometimes referred to as toning or oxidation, demonstrate an authentic aging process that many collectors find highly desirable. The dark, dirty black coloration tells a story of decades spent in circulation, often pulled from pockets, cash registers, and coin jars, yet preserved enough to still display clear date features. From an auction market perspective, the 1946 large date no mint mark Lincoln wheat cent, in this condition, has been known to reach prices well above $50,000, especially when verified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC. The rarity of a genuine original coin with such toning, combined with the specific large date variety, creates intense competition among collectors and dealers alike. This competition drives the market value significantly higher than one might expect for a seemingly common penny. Errors on the 1946 large date. No mint mark penny are relatively rare, but notable ones can include doubled dies or slight die cracks, which add layers of intrigue and additional value. However, the main draw remains the large date variety itself, coupled with an authentic circulated patina that collectors prize. In summary, this coin encapsulates a fascinating chapter in American numismatics, combining historical significance, design legacy, scarcity in well-preserved examples, and a market value that consistently impresses. It's a coin that speaks to serious collectors and investors looking for a rare gem within the beloved Lincoln Wheat Cent series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.